good early morning from the high road.
Well, friends, we're in October now, and it seems that Mother Nature is tapping her watch. Weatherman says it's supposed to be 75 today. It's Sunday, and next week on Sunday it's supposed to be 55 as the high here, as the high. So it seems like our opportunities are beginning to fade. So I'm going to do my best to get a video together despite the fact that I've got a failing battery. Also get some gold and also make it a video that's enjoyable to watch. We'll give it a try. So as you can see, I'm standing on a gravel bar and I'm right here on the edge of the creek. And what I'm looking at on this gravel bar is I'm trying to get a sense of what it looks like when the water is flowing hard, because that gives you an indication of where gold likely is. And so what I'm looking at here, I can see the gravel, and how over on this side, on my right side, the gravel is mostly golf ball size, smaller than my hand. Whereas over on this side, the gravel is getting considerably bigger. Now it's not all gravel. Some of this is native rock, like it's basically coming from the hillside here. This, for example, this one's coming from right here. Nice, sharp. These ones though, find you a good example. Well, this big old piece of quartz did not come from the same spot. This came through the creek from upstream somewhere. It's rounded over because it's been rolled through and in the flow and has been rounded over in that process. So what I'm looking at is I'm seeing a big giant boulder there. That's not native. That's not rock from here. This is a boulder that came from somewhere else. This is a big boulder that came from somewhere else. This is a big boulder that came from somewhere else. This is all big gravel. And I have bedrock here. So I'm thinking this gravel is probably not terribly deep. And by clearing some of this gravel away, I might be able to get down to this bedrock here and should likely, based on the trajectory of these heavy stones that are coming right over the top of that little crest there, there's likely a streak, or there should be what they call a pay streak of gold, where the gold, once it comes from a high energy narrow spot into a wide spot where the energy drops down, gold will drop out of the flow where other heavy objects have dropped out of the flow. So this heavier gravel here is kind of a hint that maybe this is the line where gold will have dropped out. I'm going to take a look, clear some of these boulders away, and have a quick see whether or not it's worth my time committing to this spot or if I should just go back where I was. So that's what I'm going to do now. So we've cleaned all this off, got most of the boulders off. You can kind of see the area we're working with. Have a small enough area to work, find out what I need to find out. And if we need to do more digging afterward, we will. may already be on bedrock here. Yeah, I think it is. Cool. As you can see, we're right down on the bedrock now, and it's smooth bedrock. So it'll be pretty easy to clean this off. But what would be really nice is as we clean off this smooth bedrock, if we can find some crevices in there that have been covered up for God knows how long, that would be really cool. So I'm gonna wait. I don't think so. No. Puh. Nope. It's exciting for a second there, but no. I think that's going to do for this bucket. The problem when it's a little bit damp is there might be like really fine gold on some of this that I'm not getting. But the plus side is I'm breathing in way less dust. I think it's time to sluice that. but it's actually, no, it's fractured bedrock. So it is. Okay. That's interesting. This may be interesting, friends. Because it's a flat piece of fractured bedrock that's sitting on top of this very rounded bedrock, because it's like a clay underneath here. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting, he said, with hope in his heart, enthusiasm in his voice, sand in his shoes. So I just broke off that piece. Well, I didn't break it off, it was loose, but I just removed that piece of fractured bedrock, jagged bedrock. It's not this stuff that's been run through the river. It's all rounded over. It's from nearby. And I just pulled it out, and this is the kind of hole that I've created. Now, if you look, it's mostly like gritty soil like this, right? That's what we've got here. That's what I've been working so far. But underneath that, it's like clay. It's very different. So, I don't know. Maybe that's good. Maybe that's nothing. Maybe, I don't know. But I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to dig it out, and I'm going to look for gold in it. There's a big old fat crack full of this clay right there. Look at that. I'm sure the camera's getting it. Rusty color. I like it, guys. I like it. No idea if I have a good reason for liking it or not. Well, guys, it's not as big as last week's piece, but there's some visible gold. I have a little piece of broken bedrock right there. Well, guys, this is the area where we worked today. As you can see, we've cleaned off this bedrock pretty well. I'd say probably half of the bank leading up to, the hillside there. Here's what I found out. I found out that the bedrock where it's really smooth down here, where it's probably been exposed to just boulders rolling by all the time, this bedrock didn't show much in terms of when we loaded it into the sluice. I didn't see much coming up in the V-matting. But when we got up into here where it was jagged, where I think it's usually protected, it doesn't have as much direct contact with gravel and boulders flowing over it. In this area, the color seemed to get better, get a little bit chunkier, a little bit bigger. So I think that there's a good possibility that things improve as you go up to a certain point. And I think that probably a bit further up where the bedrock is more jagged, it has better chance of catching the gold. So in the future, I may continue to clean out this part. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes with the cleanup. Hopefully my battery. I've cleaned up this whole spot, and I just sluiced it, and I cleaned up the sluice, but the black sand is just way too thick for me to clean up here. So I'm gonna have to go home and blue ball that. Wasn't terribly awesome today, I'll be honest. I think because this bedrock that I cleaned off was so smooth, but I did get one piece of visible gold once I moved up into this spot where it's more jagged. So down here, when you go further in, the bedrock gets sharper and it's easier for the gold to get caught. But what I need to know is, what should I do next time I come out here? If you think I should stay on the spot that I was on today and continue my way up into this more jagged bedrock in hopes that it'll be more promising, leave me a comment and say option number 1. If you want me to go back to the spot that I hit in Inside Bend Part 1 and 2 and continue working my way up there, say option number 2.
So that's it. Give me a like on this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And
go into the comment section and pick option number 1 or option number 2. Thanks, folks.